Wife wants a baby, but she's sneaking around with another woman. I am 35, and it all started maybe 7 months ago. My wife, 28, started saying she felt like an older woman at her office was flirting with her. From her description, it sounded like the older woman, 40s, married with kids, was a very charming and attractive woman, and it was probably just heavy but innocent flattery. Anyway, fast forward a few months and my wife is saying she wants to go to a lesbian bar with me so she can experience that world. She's super sheltered. So she can understand gay people and figure out how to constructively interact with the possibly bi woman at work, just in case. In the end, the wife says the woman at work expressed she's not sexually interested and is just being friendly. I'm guessing woman at work was being a bit manipulative too, though. The wife seemed rejected by this since she was so sure it was flirting. Fast forward to 2 weeks ago. My parents are in town visiting and I'm busy taking them around. I'm planning a weekend out of the city and the wife says she'll stay behind. Her reason was more or less justified. I know it's a breach of trust, but she'd been acting out of character, so when she was asleep, I checked her phone. Seems she'd gone back to a lesbian bar and met a girl who lives a few hours away. They were chatting online about meeting in a town in between where they live during the same weekend. I'm going out of town with my parents. It sounded like she was trying to be friends with the lesbian woman. I'll call her Molly. So I didn't raise the issue. There was a bit of awkward joking, but I chalked it up to the wife trying to buddy up with Molly. I believe it was something like, "If you pick up a girl, can I watch you too from the corner?" I come back after being out of town and again read her messages. Now her messages with Molly are different and ambiguously erotic. It seems clear they went to a lesbian bar, got tipsy, and stayed together at the same hotel. She talks about getting wet, and the messages aren't super detailed but getting more and more erotic, and it sounds like Molly got to second or third base with my wife. Then they talk about meeting up in our town on the 9th, in about a week, at a hotel. My parents are still in town at this point, and Molly lives far enough away that I put off confronting her until after the parents leave. Now my parents have just left, and I know it's not cool, but I read her messages again. Mostly I'm worried my wife is not the person I thought she was, and I want some semblance of proof. Either she's just putting on a mask with Molly to see how it feels, or maybe it's me she wears a mask around. Anyway, she says things like she can't wait to kiss Molly, etc. She's chatting with her like a little girl in puppy love. Then I realize it's the same as how she treated me when we started dating. Then they exchange phone numbers, and I'm seeing calls from Molly and messages referencing phone sex. Also, the wife is sending Molly lesbian erotic pictures and saying she wants to try those things. And I saw in one message she linked to a blog she started on the same site as Molly. She talks about her frustrations with the woman at work, how her husband, me, might be bi, and generally it sounds really not like her. Very attention-seeking and makes me think of a teenager trying to fit in. By the way, I should point out that I don't care if she's a lesbian or bi or just exploring herself. What bothers me is that she's my wife and sneaking around and investing herself in someone else behind my back. I might have even been cool with it if she'd been upfront, asked my thoughts, and let me be a part of it. Anyway, I haven't confronted her yet because I wanted to get some input from a few brothers the last couple nights. They've both agreed it's a huge violation of our relationship. The consensus from one friend is, I can either use this as a power trip later, confront her and get her to stop or divorce, or try to turn it into an open relationship or even a three-way scenario. As enticing as the third option sounds, it seems unrealistic. The first option I just can't do. Second friend told me that she may be acting on long-held feelings, and I should prepare for the eventuality that she's only going to move more into that direction over time and not back. He seems convinced she isn't just experimenting. I'm quite hurt by her disloyalty, and I try not to be, but I'm cold to her now because I feel a huge loss of trust. I think there's no choice but to confront her before the 9th when she's supposed to meet Molly again. I don't think I can wait past this weekend. Before you ask, I was the wife's first sexual partner, and she comes from a very traditional and strict family. Sex with her is sweet and kind of innocent, but objectively speaking, it's fairly vanilla. She usually gets off and has an appetite for sex, so it's not like there is a vacuum. Although recently I've been really busy and it's possible she feels ignored. We only had a chance to have sex a few times since her trip to meet Molly. It doesn't seem too different, but maybe slightly less intimate, and she didn't come these times. That's not super unusual, but slightly weird. So, here's the kicker. We've been house hunting the past few months, and lately she keeps saying it's time to put a bun in the oven. I'm getting dangerously close to being Rost, reference to the television series Friends, over if she gets knocked up and then goes full-blown lesbian. Thanks for reading the wall of text. I know it's probably sounding like my wife is the bad guy here, but keep in mind this is only my view of events. Top comments. Cheating is cheating. Take the confused sexuality out of the equation, it is irrelevant. Even if she was unaware of her attraction to females prior to marrying you, it does not excuse this. Experimenting while in a committed relationship is not okay unless it's some sort of mutually agreed upon open thing. A lot of men seem to give women a pass with this sort of thing and brush it off as, she's just being experimental and it's hot. It's cheating. Plain and simple. She's going behind his back and likely hooking up with this woman. Spending a night at a hotel together? OP should treat this exactly the same as if he caught her cheating with another man. If it were another dude, I'd already be kicking her to the curb. I can't completely justify the reason. Yes, if we were just casually dating, then I'd be giving her a pass in the short term for this very reason, and would probably file under do not marry. Your friends are idiots. Talk to your wife. My friends are bachelors, but both do know my wife, which is why I asked their input. I plan on talking to the wife tonight and updating the post. Rost over. Sorry I had to laugh, but regardless, breach of trust. No secrets in relationships. Finally, someone gets it, but I'm an idiot. I mean, should have seen it. The wife and I'd be out and she'd see some beautiful woman and she'd be, OP, look at her. And I'd think, God, my wife is cool. Update. I confronted the wife and told her I know what's up. I approached the subject as non-confrontationally as I could, but she became defensive and then physical in her response. I told her I love her and that she's only hurting herself by being defensive, but she only became more pissed. Now we're sleeping separately, and I'll see how things go in the morning. I'm generally an optimistic guy, but in this case, I think it's a done deal. To leave it on a positive note, I have a few good brothers on my side, and I'm looking forward to some meaningless sex again. Top comments. Why would you expect the truth after confronting her? She's clearly lied and has been cheating on you. You've seen all of the proof yourself. Now it's time to make your mind up time. Not time to get your wife to corroborate the cheating evidence. She clearly doesn't respect you or your marriage if she blew off your concerns/suspicions/confrontation like that. I personally vote divorce on this one.